Welcome. So we've got Mr. Makola, Paula, and Umesh. We're going to start off with Umesh. He's going to give us a 2-minute little background on things in the KZN. Paula is from the Eastern Cape, and Mr. Makola is from the Limpopo. That's right. My apologies, Mr. Makola. Okay, we're going to start now, and please jot down your questions. We really do want your feedback.
Good morning, colleagues. I'll give you briefly in the past year, end of last year to about now, the problems that we've dealt with and that practitioners have brought to our attention. The main, one of the main ones has been, I'm only concentrating on two, so both of them are equally important. The first one is how the collapse of the eThekwini municipality, which probably has a radius of about 50 kilometers, deals with the issuing of rates clearance certificates to all, particularly property practitioners. That department came to a halt. How does a department that's been in existence for over centuries come to a dead halt? So we applied, in our instance, we applied for rates clearance certificate during July last year. It still hasn't come to us. So what's the reason for a department that's been in existence for centuries to suddenly stop doing what they're doing? I thought about it and I could only come to one conclusion: corruption. That you give them some money, either over the counter or through whatever some means, and then suddenly your rates clearance certificate will materialize in 3 days. So that is one of the things that the mayor then set up a committee, and that committee gave us assurances that there was changing of an accounting system, and the municipality has a wonderful history of accounting systems as well. They started off with a bid that was for an accounting system that was supposed to cost 700 million, and that eventually went on for a couple of years, and that 700 million, I think, grew during the period of installation to something like over a billion, or more than doubled to about 1.5 billion. So that brought the property the essentially law firms with property departments to a snail pace. We could have everything, but we couldn't submit our transfer documents for registration. Look at the chain effect is estate agents had no commissions, the entomologists, the electricians and entomologists had no income because it was dependent on registrations. And despite almost reaching the 1-year period in July, we still have no resolution. There was a meeting held, 2 meetings held with the municipality and the executive, and so the last meeting was held yesterday, and I haven't got the results of that meeting yet. That was the one big issue we dealt with, and we have there was an interim committee set up, and we have a representative on the committee to liaise with the mayor and the municipality. The second big issue we dealt with is that the master's office came up with the idea that because the files had reached such a level of volume that they couldn't handle them and they couldn't store them and they didn't have the space to store them, so they shipped it off to a storage company, and the storage company had a twofold purpose: firstly to store, and secondly to microfilm these trust documents, trust deeds and amendments and everything that goes with trust letters of authority. So if you want to amend any trust deed, if you want a certified copy of any trust deed, if you want to change a trustee because their term has lapsed or a new trustee has been appointed, you now apply to the master's office. And they reply and say that this file is no longer on our premises, it's been shipped off to storage. We'll have to wait, we'll have to retrieve it before we can reply. And now that storage company has got their own schedule of microfilming and storing. So basically, if you want to amend a trust deed, if you want a new trustee appointment, if you want certified copies of trust deeds, you're not getting them. So how do you take your cases forward? How do you get the trust to function? Yesterday we had a presentation on FICA, and they're going to say, well, where's your letters of authority? So you come to a dead stand. A banker will ask you, we're only complying with FICA. Where's your letters of authority? We don't have one for the existing trustees. So there we've communicated with the master's office. They gave us we have no resolution on that matter. I've communicated to the judge president of the province, who, in a capacity as the chairperson of the Provincial Efficiency Enhancement Committee, she didn't bother to reply. So so basically we're on our own. We're swimming on our own in that regard. The municipality one is not really a legal issue. It's an administrative issue, but affects legal practitioners. So those were the two areas of concentration. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to address you today on the topic of empowering provincial associations and the expectations of legal practitioners within our province in the Eastern Cape. When it comes to empowering the provincial association, this is twofold. We not only need to strengthen the Eastern Cape Provincial Association and all other associations, but we also need to uplift the local circles within the province, which play a pivotal role in fulfilling our collective obligations. So, what is the importance of the association? Being a member of an association offers several key benefits. It provides a platform for legal practitioners to have a voice in the legal community, allowing them to actively address and influence ongoing issues within the legal profession. The association also plays a crucial role in keeping members informed about educational courses, regulatory changes, and trends in the legal landscape, helping them to stay competitive and updated in their practice. Membership provides opportunities for networking and with peers, which could also lead to knowledge sharing, collaboration, and professional opportunities, such as correspondent work that can also generate an additional income source. The association fosters mentorship and support, benefiting young and less experienced practitioners, and offers pathways for professional development and leadership roles through committee involvement. These associations are vital for professional growth, networking, and staying at the forefront of the legal profession. So our primary goals, amongst others, are to promote the transformation of the legal profession, maintain high standards and the profession's prestige, encourage commitment to delivering quality legal services to all clients, and enhance an independent legal profession that operates ethically and responsibly in the province. In our efforts to support young and female legal practitioners, we are in the process of establishing mentorship programs in the Eastern Cape and support groups, providing avenues for networking, skills development, and addressing unique challenges. We are attentive to the needs of our members and collaborate with our stakeholders, such as SAULA, the South African Women Lawyers Association, to promote inclusivity and gender equality within the profession. When we engage with our members, we do so actively through our local circles, who serve as intermediaries for information dissemination. Additionally, we also conduct hybrid meetings to ensure that members across the vast province can participate. Social media platforms are also used to keep members informed and engaged. In the Eastern Cape, as at the beginning of the year, we had 2,384 practicing attorneys, 504 non-practicing attorneys, 1,545 law firms. Our local circles include the East London and Mdansani Attorneys Association, Rebecca, which has been recently revived, the Wild Coast Attorneys Association, that's in Mthatha, and the Komani, which I understand is inactive, but we require LSSA's assistance in reviving, as well as the other local circles to revive Komani. Makanda Attorneys Association will be fully operational by June 2024, and these serve as a means for engagement with our members. So with these numbers, it doesn't come without challenges. The challenges include load shedding, communication delays from the Master's Office, difficulties in litigating against the Road Accident Fund, concerns about the operation of the Sheriff's Office, the lack of practitioners wanting to serve on small claims as small claims court commissioners. In Mthatha specifically, issues include delays in the typing of court orders, lost court files, challenges within the state attorney's payment of tax bills. Our association specifically addressed and engage with our members regarding their expectations. Here are some of their comments. To continue to concentrate on transformation of the profession to align with our demographics. Our members would like ongoing legal education workshop and seminars within the province that are also up to date and relevant, for instance, AI, ChatGPT in the workplace and so on. To have more affordable courses, especially the online ones. They seek ongoing support in addressing any pressing issues as and when they arise by intervening and liaising with relevant departments. The Candidate Attorneys Association, specifically in East London and Dansane, requested that they are also to be engaged directly and not through the circles. Embracing technology is essential for staying relevant in today's digital age. Practitioners want the association and the LSSA committed to supporting legal practitioners in adopting innovative tools and practices that enhance efficiency and productivity. We have had we've had hybrid meetings during the course of last year. There was a complaint in East London that they did not have a sheriff from March 2023. We engaged with the stakeholders and that issue was addressed. And we also had an issue in Gqeberha. We created a maintenance task team led by our current LSSA president, and that issue was addressed as well. There was an issue in Komani regarding securing magistrates, and I understand that that issue is still being addressed. With regards to the Master's Office, the meeting that was held on the 16th of November 2023, that helped a lot, and I haven't had any complaints as of this year. So that is what is happening in the Eastern Cape. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As the President has already indicated, I'm Makola from Polokwane. I'm the acting chairperson of the Limpopo Provincial Attorneys Association. Let me take you a bit back. If you remember during the provincial law societies, your then LSNP, your OFS, we used to have the so-called law councils in each and every town. The law councils then were formed by also BALA and NADEL and those who do not want to affiliate. So with the current formation of the LSSA, it's more or less the continuation of what used to happen then. But now we have taken a different form because now for you to form an association, you must come from a constituency, an ADEL, BLA, and the independents. But the sole purpose of the provincial associations together with LSSA is to ensure that we unite the profession, and is to ensure that we protect that which makes us who we are, and to continue to generate income and to make our business thrive. So what we do in Limpopo, we are more passionate about the education, continued education of our colleagues in Limpopo, and to make sure that we make practice easier. For example, the JPs in different divisions, they find it easier to communicate with associations than to communicate with individuals. So if we unite as a profession and then have one voice, it's easier to confront any other issue that is making the profession difficult to work in. So that's basically what we are doing. And I'm glad Janine is back this morning. Not that I'm blowing my trumpet, but I'm happy to announce that the contribution towards the marking center of board examinations is a proposal that came from Limpopo. So you could see what we do. If you have got the interest of the profession at heart, you are able to provide solutions that help to advance the profession. So we are urging associations that are not well established to please consider this. It's very important. It helps the profession. We sit together not to drive an agenda for constituency you're coming from, but we sit together to provide solutions for the profession. So I've seen one of the other proposal made about the board exams in the annual report of the outgoing president is that maybe we need to relook into the curriculum. I don't think the curriculum is really a problem, Jenny. My view is that the curriculum as it should be okay. There seems to be a gap between the drafters of the question papers and the instructors of at law school. So we need to unite the two. If you can unite the instructors at law school and the examiners, similar thing that we are having at the exam center, if you can have an indaba where the examiners and the tutors at the law school sit and set question papers, I can tell you now we'll be able to bridge the gap between the examiners and the tutors, because we as instructors law school, we follow the curriculum. But then you find a situation where the question paper comes, say 10-15% of the question paper is off the curriculum. So that's where the problem is. So I think if you can sit and work around that, Janine, together with Tony, we should be able to somehow deal with the question of a low pass rate in board exams. So that's the contribution we're making, Brooklyn, mainly about legal education, mainly making sure that we all contribute either through law school or through the local associations in our province. Like in Polokwane, we've got the Polokwane Lawyers Association. The contribution we are making towards the community, we have since adopted a resolution last year, December, to adopt a school. So what the resolution simply means is that with the contributions that we make as attorneys, on annual basis, we'll adopt a school in a very disadvantaged community and then speak to the principal there. We will allocate uniform, school shoes, or any other thing that we can contribute as a profession, so that you are not only seem to be making money from the community, but you are not giving back to the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to everybody that has just joined us. Welcome. We are going to open the floor. We've had Umesh Jeevan from KZN, Paula de Azevedo from Eastern Cape, and then we've got Mr. Makolo from the Limpopo province. We were dealing with the challenges and ways of empowering the Provincial Association. We do have a roving mic. We would like to open the floor to some questions. I see there was a gentleman in the back. If we could get acknowledge him. Any other questions from the floor? Yes, there's a lady here in the front. Sir, go ahead in the back.
Good morning, colleagues. My name is Asif Issa from Pietermaritzburg. If I may just outline from my perspective what I think the most serious issues are to be dealt with by the provincial associations. The first issue is one of communication. It took a very long time for the Provincial Association in KZN to be established. And once it has been established, I think it is necessary to ensure that there is adequate communication. I, for instance, get calls on a regular basis to deal with matters of, where matters are of essentially a trade union nature. And people or practitioners still believe that the law society exists in this province. So there's a big problem as far as communication is concerned, and I think that needs to be seriously addressed. And as far as dissemination of information is concerned, I think you can work hand in hand with the Provincial Council or the LPC with regards to disseminating information. The second issue that I wanted to raise is, I think one must have regard to the psychology of practitioners. Depression, suicides, etc. are rife in the profession. I recall when I was part of the Law Society, we had a debate in the council as to whether the guest speaker in our AGM should be a psychologist, because of the fact that there are challenges out there with regards to practitioners. And I think you may well be aware that practitioners suffer from depression, there are suicides, etc.
Thank you so much.
Can I just raise
sure.
one more issue? I think the most important issue is this. It's the sustainability of the profession. From a trade union perspective, when you have regard to the subscriptions that you're paying to the LPC, the voluntary associations, professional indemnity insurance, which is on the way. I think serious consideration should be given on a national level as regards how the profession is sustainable. Ultimately, I must also talk to you about, I think there needs to be more effective communication and liaison with the Society of Advocates and the General Counsel of the Bar from a law society perspective and from an attorney's perspective. And as far as examinations are concerned, I think there's so much of work to be done there. I mean, I believe that in the last exams, there were questions on Champati and on, I think, Anton Piller. And I think that you should set exams to consider what an entry practitioner should be knowing, and not things that for example, Champati, I came across once in my 30 years of practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There was a lot of questions in that. Let me see what I can do to, on the first issue of mental health. That's a very, very valid point, and it's always is concerning for me. Because I'm part of the LSSA HSC, always open all the LSSA emails. I can tell you right now that almost a vast majority of our legal colleagues see emails from the LPC and the LSSA. It goes into their junk folder and they never read it. Important for you to know that the LSSA is partnered with PPS, one of our speakers of yesterday, and we do have a mental wellness program. And in fact, since COVID, we have been offering a call center where you could actually call, and that has been widely advertised. And that program is still ongoing insofar as you being able to make a call and have a chat with a mental health care practitioner. And we completely acknowledge the very, very big importance of mental health amongst practitioners. We've all got stresses, financial worries, and that does all play a role on our mental health. So thank you for that. And we definitely are aware that that is something that we must keep advertising. Insofar as communication is concerned, the LSSA does have an incredibly wide database, and one of the strategies, and that has been ongoing for the last 2 to 3 years, is to make communication one of our primary goals for practitioners. We do that on a variety of platforms, information advisories via email, and again, I think that a lot of these emails just get deleted without being read. But we've already started, and you will see on social media that we have a very big social media footprint. But we welcome any suggestions that you feel may be a way of us improving our communication skills. But we definitely, I can tell you now, there isn't a day that goes by that the LSSA isn't on top of an important legal point or a practical suggestion or case law or a conference or something relating to legal education, such as a webinar or a course that is not being advertised. But again, we are always open to suggestions. Then with regards to the examinations, this is an ongoing issue with the LSSA Legal Education Department. They are dealing with the manner in which the papers are drafted, and that is an ongoing discussion currently with changes to curriculum between the LPC and the LSSA. There was a lady here. You had a question. Can we get the microphone to her, please?
Good day, colleagues. My name is Katrina Womack. My question is to Mr. Jeevan. Mr. Jeevan, the part about the Master's Office with the storage of files and the problem with the trusts, can they not do something similar to what they've done with deceased estates and make that system go online and have online storage that we could access it via the internet, take that project one step further? And then the other one was about the shortage of the small claims court. I can't remember who mentioned that. But if there's a shortage of small claims court commissioners, is there a list? Do you send out an advert? Do you invite practitioners to participate, or how does that work?
We have the easiest way to answer your first question about getting the Master's Office. Yesterday's address, which you were present for, you'd see they only concentrated on only one part. Yet the Master's Office does 2 other things besides the states. And they didn't address trusts at all. And the impression we got from yesterday's the people who were present they don't deal with trusts. That's another department. They happen to be housed in the same place. But the problem we have with state organizations in general, let alone master's office, is that practitioners are in the 21st century. They're still in the 20th century. I get correspondence from government organizations with telephone numbers on it and PO box addresses on it, but no email address. So now to take this master's office into the 21st century is it's a challenge to us, but can we get them there? Can we get a government department to put the absolutely simplest of things, is tell us, the writer of the letter can please tell us his email address. Because you try and get, the other problem with the telephone numbers, of course, yes, it's nice to have a telephone number. Try and call a government department and try and get them to answer their phones. Now that's another story. So from yesterday, it was a positive address yesterday from the master's office because they showed you they certainly catch up. Now, can the trust department catch up is only up to them. So that's their challenge, which hopefully can assist us. But yesterday was certainly a positive address because they showed us that they're aware of the technology and they're using it. Thank you.
Yes, I just want to say something to the gentleman at the back who said there is not enough communication. There is meaningful and enough communication, but what we have realized is that, like what Joanne said, that some correspondences from the LSS and LPC as well would go to a junk mail, and then our colleagues don't see that. But as the association, what we did, on important notice that we know that our members must take notice of, we have developed a WhatsApp group. Of course, it needs administrator, it needs time, it needs data. But in the interest of the profession, the notices that are very important for our colleagues to note, we place them in the WhatsApp group. There is no way that we would never have a data to check WhatsApp group. So maybe that is another initiative that other colleagues can take as well in their associations. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question about the Small Claims Court commissioners. This was raised recently, so we are still busy dealing with that matter. We have engaged with the attorneys in that region, in the East London and Dunsany region, and we have asked them, we've encouraged them to come forward, and especially the younger ones as well for experience. We're talking about growth and development of the young professionals of today. And also we need the old experienced people that won't get out of their office as well to come and act as commissioners. So we have been encouraging them to do so, and we will still continue that.
Thank you so much to our panel. You're free to step down.